Melissa Miller, and this is my son Cort. He was born at 23 weeks, 6 days, so he was about 5 months early. He weighed 1 pound, 1 ounce when he was born, and he was in the NICU for 4 months. He was intubated for a couple of weeks, and they actually had a difficult time intubating him when he was born. It took about 7 minutes to get him intubated. When he was in the hospital and it was time to start eating from the bottle, he had trouble eating from the bottle. He would arch his back and cry a lot. It was a lot of force feeding. He actually came home with a feeding tube, not wanting to eat well. And then we started baby foods, and he did good when we started baby foods until we moved to more textures. And when we started more textures, he completely shut down, didn't want to eat anymore. We've gone through several therapists, occupational therapy, physical therapy, all of them trying to figure out why he wouldn't eat, trying to get him to eat. None of the therapies worked. So it's been about 3.5 years, and he drinks Carnation Instant Breakfast, and he's very particular with his bottle and a certain kind of nipple. And then he was diagnosed with autism, so he's on the autism spectrum. And through there, we met Dr. Kelly through his wife, who I work with, and came to see Dr. Kelly, and he's made huge progresses since then. The first visit after we left, we went to the playground, and normally Cort would trip a lot, his right eye would wander, his eyes weren't coordinated at all, and he was running on the playground. He said he could play better, and he was just so much more coordinated. His eyes were more coordinated. We went home that night, and he saw his dad, and his dad made comments about how he was looking at him right in the eyes with both eyes, and that's when my husband became a believer of what would work too, and he was so excited and asked when we could go back to see Dr. Kelly. So we saw him a second time that week, and when we left from that visit, we went to the playground again where he was swinging, and for the first time he said, "Mommy, do you hear that? And what's that sound?" And that's when I realized there were sounds that he hadn't been hearing. He was 5.5, and this was the first time he had ever asked me, "What's that sound?" and if I heard that, and it was birds chirping. And that just made a huge difference. And from there on, he was a lot more cooperative, and behavior was so much better, and I really feel in part it's that he was hearing what we were wanting him to do, and he probably wasn't so frustrated either. So from there, not only was he more coordinated and he was hearing things, he was starting to put some food in his mouth and chewing, not swallowing yet, but he would put some food in his mouth and chew, and that has progressed to where he started with cotton candy and got to where he can handle more cotton candy, and it dissolved in his mouth, and he actually swallows it now instead of letting it run out of his mouth. And then today at school, his agenda teacher wrote that at snack time he actually chewed up a goldfish cracker and swallowed that, and that's the first time that he's ever done that and not let it run out of his mouth. So
his life?
Had huge in his life, yeah, that's the first time he's ever chewed up a solid cracker and swallowed it. So that's huge. And he actually said he liked it too, which is even bigger and means so much more. So I have full belief that it's going to get even better from there. And
friends?
He's got so many friends at school, which is something that he hasn't talked about before. He would only do parallel play, or he would need downtime and golf by himself, and he can name 5 friends at school that he enjoys playing with and says that he wants to go play with them. And if we're out somewhere, he'll actually notice there's other kids around and say that he wants to play with them.
Wow.
And he engages in a lot of activity with kids other than just his brothers now. Cort also, he's always had a good vocabulary, but he actually talks a lot more now and carries on sentences, and actually it gets to the point we kind of have to tell him to be quiet sometimes.
Okay.
Especially in the car, he would just want to sit and watch a movie on car rides. And his grandparents, my parents actually said this past weekend they took him for a car ride to go pick up dinner, and they said he was talking non-stop, and
wow.
and he does, and it's almost to the point, like I said, that it's like that typical little kid where the whole time, when are we going to get there? What's that? And so he does that in the car now.
A little catch-up work. Doing a little catch-up work.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. Congratulations, Cort.
Yay.
Yeah.
You're doing so good. Can you tell Dr. Kelly thank you?
Thank you.
Yeah.